Hi everyone, welcome back to week 3 of Families in an Electronic World. I'm looking forward to another good discussion this week. Just as a reminder, the discussion that we'll have this week will have to do with the videos and the readings that we had for last week, the Generation Like video and um, the reading from the Child Mind Institute and those things. So our discussion will have to do with that topic. But I want to introduce you to the readings and videos for this next week, which have to do with couple relationships. And there's quite a few of them, so you may want to get started on them early. Couple relationships well, I suppose, like most aspects of family life, have been pretty importantly impacted by by the advent of cell phones and social media and other forms of internet communication. And just as an illustration, I've been married quite a few years now, and in the last several years, it's not uncommon for, as I'm driving home from work, I have about a 45-minute commute, to talk with my wife and kind of check in and see how the day went, or for her to give me a call or send me a text and say, hey, can you stop at the store and pick up something, or to connect during the day in ways, maybe through an email message, in ways that we hadn't ever done before. That's been going on probably for the last, I don't know, decade or so. In the early years of our marriage, that sort of thing never happened. And once I left work, there wasn't really an opportunity for her to get a hold of me, or vice versa. And so it really has changed the way in which we communicate. And I think a lot of couple relationships are shaped by their communication, and the way in which we communicate is not only face to face, but it also involves text and various forms of electronic communication. So this week, the readings and the videos have to do with couple relationships, and in particular, two different areas. One area has to do with the whole issue of getting together. How do couples form a relationship? And one of the big changes that's happened over the last 10, 15 years has been the advent of online dating. Now, I suppose online dating, or through third-party sources, has been going on for a long time. But in the last 10, 15 years, it has really taken off with sites like Match.com or eHarmony, or those sorts of things. And there is a significant number of couples, and it's hard to estimate how many, but some have estimated as many as 20% of couples now who end up getting into a long-term relationship started their relationship through some sort of online dating service. That's huge, and it's changing the way in which we connect with people. And so there's a couple of readings that have to do with this, but the first thing I'd like for you to do is to go to the page that introduces the material for the week, the front page of the course, and click on the site that sends you to a quiz that has to do with your attitude toward online dating. I think that'll be a good place to start. It might be kind of interesting for you to kind of compare your attitudes to attitudes of other people that they've surveyed relating to online dating. And then there are a couple of readings related to that. One is talks about the results of this survey that you will have taken. It's done by the Pew Research Group. Pew has done a lot of work on families and technology and electronic communications. So we'll be talking about several different kinds of Pew Research Center's studies over the course of this course. But this particular one has to do with attitudes toward online dating. And then there's the chapter from Hertline and Blummer, which primarily deals with relationship formation and the impact of electronic communications, and part of that also has to do with online dating. And finally, there's a video that has to do with this. It's a relatively short video, maybe a 5 or 10-minute interview with Sam Yagan, who is the CEO of Match Incorporated, which runs Match.com. And it's eye-opening, I think, because he talks about kind of the math. I know it sounds kind of boring, but he talks about the math behind behind online dating services. So take a look at all of those sources, which all have to do with relationship formation, couples getting together, and how technology has impacted that. Technology also impacts a lot of other areas in terms of couple relationships and how people interact with each other. And there are two other sources that I want you to take a look at this week. One is an article. This is another Pew Research report. This one having to do with couples and social media and cell phones, and how those forms of communication have impacted couple relationships. And as you might expect, there's a lot of great ways in which electronic communications have really helped couple relationships. But you might be surprised. There are a couple of things they point to that say, well, there's some other issues here that enter into this whole topic that couples have to be aware of. I also want you to read an article or a second chapter from Hertline and Blummer, which has to do with couple relationships and some of the dynamics that go on in couple relationships. And so it's not the same thing as the Pew article, but it really focuses not so much on relationship formation, but on the dynamics of couple relationships. And then the last piece I want you to take a look at is a video. Actually 3 short video clips that are all about, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes apiece, about something called Fundawear. And Fundawear addresses the sexual side of a couple's relationship. And how does technology enter into a couple's sexual relationship? And this is kind of an innovative way in which the makers of this product, Fundawear, have introduced sexuality over online in a couple relationship. So all of the things this week will have to do with couples. I'd like you to read them, to watch the videos, and then next week our discussion will focus on couple relationships. See you online.